except where them hands, where them holes, where them throws, you know what I'm saying? Cecil.
Rather than just doing a straight media review of the event that I was a presenter at, self-defense event on August 30th, 2019 at 24 Hour Fitness in Atlanta, Maryland, I'm going to talk about what I actually was affirmed on. But first, let's give the shout outs out the way. The headliner for the event, it was Grandmaster Zeke Sistrunk's event. So he went through his Kubaton system and some pressure points. This is not in the order of presenters, by the way. Tuhan Arlene showed us some Peking Salat and some basic Filipino systems and some basic knife work going on the right and the left at the angle using the triangle as a basis for movement, showing us how to parry with the blade, come across, and do some joint locks with it. After that, no, before that, actually even before me, because I was like in the middle, it was Sensei Dwayne Harper. His system is a combination of Shotokan karate, some Korean arts, and Salat. I think he said he's done Sistema. He's blended it all into his own system. So he has a mixture of Filipino, Japanese, and Korean arts. He also knows a lot of stuff about knife work as well. And also, he was my pressure point tutor, teacher for a year and a half. So I went with him and studied before I finally took the home course under Grandmaster Art Mason and got graded for first degree in Kyusho online. So I had a lot of hands-on with him. In addition to other people I talked to over the years, one person I'd like to give a shout out to asked me, please don't put me on your channel. I don't want random people showing up at my school. So if you're watching this and you know who you are, you get a shout out. You know who you are. So what I got affirmed with is the idea that for regular people who are not going to be professional fighters, who do martial arts just for enrichment and self-defense, if you stick with how you were taught to do your one-step sparring as a guide for how much force to use, you should be okay. That means if somebody attacks you, if you can block the attack, do one counter hit, and then if you have to, if you throw them down, and then if you have to after that, you hit them one time and that's it, you should be fine. Once you start going into the arena of ground and pound, that's excessive force. And I know I've said this in another video, and someone confirmed it there. When someone's ground and pounding you in the state of Maryland, once they start doing that, the person on the ground can take out a knife and stab the person that's grounding and pounding them, and the stabber will be in the clear. Because once you're grounding and pounding or attacking somebody that's flat on their back and down, you're using deadly force. They're allowed to use their deadly force to counter your deadly force. So for those of us who like to do ground and pound, we got to stop that in a real fight. Don't keep going, because you do that out of habit because you're thinking it's like the ring. You can get stabbed, and they can get away with stabbing you because you're using excessive force. Now, one-step sparring is one of the most criticized aspects of the martial arts. If you don't know what one-step sparring is, just go to YouTube, type in one-step sparring. Bang. And I really wish I had gotten what I said recorded, but what I may do is just put it in another video. I have a video here where I talk about the psychology of one-step sparring, where I basically say you down block and yell at each other because when you isolate and a counter down to its most basic elements, that's what you do. Ah! Ah! And then you start fighting each other. And one thing I had people do is the initial Kia! I said, now don't respond. And the more training people have, it's harder for them. It's like, oh. First, it's just in their head, but then they realize we've been taught. Somebody goes Kia, or you feel like you, I want to respond. It's in your body. It's trained in you. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, don't get me wrong. That's great for combat. I always tell people, and I hope I'm not getting anybody in trouble by saying this, but this is how I feel, and if I'm wrong, I'm sorry. But if you're coming at me at 2:30 in the morning when it's dark outside in the parking lot out in front of my house, you come from out the bushes like this and I hit you and you go out, I mean, that's on you. Okay? That's on you. Even one of my instructors used to say, like, when you're facing each other in one step sparring, it's like two people coming down the street to meet each other to attack. So now I'm going to go even further into the traditional background, and that is things I've been told over the years, some of you've probably heard, and now I see the truth in it. That is, if you block, like every move in your one step should stop it, should end it. Each movement should be an ender. If you do the block, quote unquote, correctly, the best way, the block should be enough to stop it. Because you block with enough force and accuracy that they hurt their arm trying to hit you. The block don't work once you do that counter hit. That should be it. They should be out. You should hit with enough accuracy to where you knock them out or you stun them or daze them so they don't come after you anymore. Block hit, you throw. You should throw with enough force to where it's like a judo throw. It's not supposed to be lethal, but it stuns them and knocks the wind out of them. And then if you've done that, one hit while they're trying to get back up off the ground, that should be it. That should be a fight ender. It should be done after that. I'm going to go even further now than what I've taught. If you're paying attention, when you chilly out, that should be enough to end it. Chilly out is like paying attention to what's going on. I have thwarted stuff because I paid attention and the person that they were going to a target didn't pay attention, but I paid attention. That made the person planning something look and then run off of what they were about to. I saw him about to do something. I looked over there and he went, uh-oh. I don't want this to be easy. This ain't an easy mark anymore. Forget this guy's too big. I'm out. Okay? Or somebody's threatening to do something to you. You give them the proper look. Or even sometimes, if people see that you're paying attention to them, they'll go, oh, well, I'm just going to go on to somebody else that I know ain't paying attention. That's how I've kept from being knocked out in the knockout game. People coming up behind me, turn around, what? Do it here. Do it here. Turn around. Turn around. Turn around. What? Nothing? Kunye, bow. Sign of respect. Bow. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. You bump into somebody and say, oh, man, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, man. I apologize. I didn't mean to offend you. I'm sorry. I really apologize. I'm sorry. Okay? You do that, and then they want to try to escalate, and you get to the June B point. Just show that you're ready. Just show that you're ready. You don't have to do anything sometimes. Just show that you're ready. Be ready. Pay attention to them. Be ready. Be ready for anybody back there, behind you. Be ready. Sometimes that can be enough to do it. And if you've done all that and they attack, then you get into the physical thing. After that, that initial block should be enough. If you want to go beyond initial blocking, where you in the way of the intercepting fist, you see him moving, you don't even block. You move off the angle over, tag and smack him in the back of the head or something. Move off the line of the attack, redirect him into a wall, that should be enough. Move off the line of the attack, use a kick, that should be enough. Move off the line of the attack, help them to where they're going, and then throw them by changing the direction, that should be enough. We're talking about, I'm a civilian, I'm trying to protect myself, I'm just trying to go home. The classical punch kick type arts, as you were taught, is enough. Now, does that mean you shouldn't cross train? No. I've been told, this video is getting long, so I gotta stop. I've been told, and I didn't believe him. I do believe it was Maurice that told me this. He wasn't the only one though, too. A couple other people had told me, but I do remember, I think it was Maurice, that said, if you really understood your art, you really wouldn't need to cross train. But you gotta cross train because you don't really understand your art. But did you cross train? Yeah, of course I cross train. But then why are you telling me? I didn't understand, but I get it. Everything that you have a lot of times when you're doing a punch kick system and you do forms too, it's already there. You just don't know how to apply it. Good thing about cross training, as you get after you get deep into it, after it's like, well, that's just like it's just like this. It's just like. No, I'm not going to do it because I don't want YouTube complaining that I have a weapon. We're going to pretend this is a knife. It's a sole of a shoe. So this motion is kind of like this motion. Right? Right? Hammer fist is definitely, right? Right? You know. It's just, right? Right? You know, that's it, right? Parry cut, right? 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 This is like a choke, like an arm bar. It's still this. It's gonna be an attack with a weapon. You can have the those, not the side, the oar thing on here. I forgot what it's called. That's the traditional weapon. Have that right here. You know, looks like a police baton. Have it here. Okay, you can have a stick in your hand. Now this is a stick. Hit somebody like that with a stick. Butt of the stick. Bap, bap, right? It's still this. Use this as a joint lock. Use this as a pin when you're coming down. Use that as a throw. It's still this. Use this to protect your head. It's still this. It's still this. Nobody fights like that. You know what? Maybe nobody fights like that. People do protect themselves like that. So thanks for watching this video. Like, comment, and subscribe. Please share this with people like to talk about the martial arts. Help me get to 1,000 subscribers very soon, please, so I can monetize this channel. And if you like what you're getting here, share it with people. Even if you don't, share it with people anyway. And peace.
Come and take our class for less than a tank of gas. Learn to use your hands and be so